Hey, hi. I'm Mona. And if you're here, you found Kaleidoscope Dreams Tarot. It's time for another reading. So today it's a rainy day out there. It's rainy out there, it's the dogs, they don't want to go outside. So we didn't come from a walk, but fortunately, it's big enough in here to play fetch with them because, if you have pets, you know that they need a lot of exercise, right? If you have a little doggy, it's okay, but my dogs are kind of big, so they definitely need that. So we're probably just going to stay in today, and I don't know, maybe I might do another reading, maybe not, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe I'll add a short after this as a continuing, I don't know. We'll see how I feel, but let's go ahead and get started. This is the Everyday Witch, and this is the Bicycle Dark Knight deck. All right. Now, Dark Knight, like, Batman. But I grabbed this deck because when I saw it, it reminded me of Dark Knight of the Soul. Okay. So I don't know. These were the two cards I was guided to grab, so let's get started. These cards haven't reshuffled. We're going to shuffle one time. We're going to just get a quick general energy, okay? Kind of feel like somebody here. We have somebody very intuitive watching, maybe. Right? Let's see what else we got. The Wheel of Fortune. All right. Somebody's going through some good luck out there. Wheel of Fortune. You know what I mean? Somebody's receiving some good karma. Right? And, you're receiving that because, you've been doing the right thing. And, yeah. Good for you. If no one has told you lately, great job. Good job. Right? I'm proud of you. Whatever it is. Because I don't even know. Right? Now, this card can also be Wheel of Fortune in reverse, though. And if you've been doing bad stuff out there, lying, cheating, stealing, corruption, hurting people, whatever, obviously, you're the reverse Wheel of Fortune, right? So let's see where the reading leads us. It's going to tell us a little bit more as we move along. We're going to start out with 5 cards here. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Hope everything's going okay with you guys. If you're new here, I wish the same for you too. This channel is strictly for trying to get you to feel better, right? Try to motivate you in your own personal self-healing, right? A logical way. I try to be as logical as I can, right? But yeah, I try to teach along the way also. So I want you to know what the cards mean. That's why. I want you to know these definitions, because, I don't know, sometimes you hear people saying other things. But, everybody does their own thing. But I want you to know for yourself, helps take your mind off of things. Or maybe, maybe it will be good for you to learn tarot for yourself. This is a big chunk that fell out. Look at that. I'm not going to take it. Let's see what it is. I'll read it to you as a sentence. Somebody's waiting for their ships to come in. It could be a King of Pentacles, right? This person's got a lot of secrets and illusions, though, but this person's trying to make somebody a lover in their life. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so we could have some sort of couples thing coming up soon here. Because that was actually a divine couple. We had the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. If you've been trying to manifest somebody in your life, maybe something's happening soon. I don't know. I saw the divine couple right there. I saw matching court cards, right? What's this? It's in the reverse. Yeah. So, you did hear, though, that there's some sort of deception there. Yeah, and in the end of these cards, there's no real love there. There's no real happy family, happy home. So before I turn those cards over, I want to suggest to somebody, there's someone out there that's going to approach you. You might be the same sign. You might be the same elemental sign. But if not, it doesn't matter, because everybody's got a bunch of signs in their chart anyways, you know. And if you don't know that, you should probably look into it and get a birth chart for yourself. It will help you with your healing journey too, by the way. But it looks like there's somebody trying to come in and maybe woo you, but they're not being genuine, right? They want you to think that they really like you and they love you, and they might, but just don't choose the first thing that comes along, because look at Ten of Cups reverse. So this might be somebody who jumps into relationships. Don't do that. It takes time. Relationships take time, you know? And if you're rushing into something, yeah, this is going to be the outcome. Ten of Cups reverse. Get to know someone before you actually make any moves or, you know, do anything you might regret in the future. What do we have at the bottom of the deck? We have the Page of Swords. And, you know, this is about spying or slandering, right? Somebody might be spying on somebody so they could slander them. Or, right, that's upright in reverse. I just explained it. But there's also alternate definitions, right? Somebody could be spying because they're seeing how you are, because they're trying to figure out a way to worm their way into your life. And they're going to do it by being lovey-dovey and kind, because if you're that way, they're going to try to mimic you. All right? I don't like people who try to mimic me. I meet them all the time. Yeah. I remember there was this one guy who I knew he was a jerk. But in front of certain people, he would be different. He would even sometimes, and when he said that, I was cracking up. He would try to act so kind and so nice. Kind of like me. I'm not acting. I'm just nice because I am. But I remember one time we were talking to some people, and he's like, "Oh, that's wonderful." I've never heard him say that word before. And it sounded so wrong coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean? So be careful. We have some good actors out there, and they're going to do what they can to weasel their way into someone's life, right? This may or may not resonate, right? But, and if nothing like this is going on for you, it may not be your story, but just keep an eye out and don't jump into things quickly. If someone really likes you, they will wait. They will take their time with you. If somebody wants to take advantage of you or use you or whatever, they're going to try to rush into this. They're not going to give you enough time to actually step back and think. People like to do that. That's how people confuse others. You know, coming and talking to you and talking, not letting you get a word in edgewise. And then at the end, so what do you think? Can you do it? Didn't even give you a chance to freaking think. You know what I mean? So when you're having a conversation like that, though, I'm going to be straight up with you. That's a red flag. Don't continue from there. If somebody doesn't allow you time to speak and listen and like get on the same page as you, there's deception behind that. Okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to start here. We have the Page of Cups. So you might be this energy, because normally this is the viewer, what they're dealing with, and, you know, the outcome. First three cards. Somebody here is possibly watching someone and learning how to be more possibly emotional. Like you, if this is you. Right? And if this is not you, this could be the person that you're dealing with who's going to come in. They're going to try, and it's not going to be something that seems natural, right? you're going to see somebody come there to talk to you and be all nice, and you're going to feel some type of way about it. It's because it's not real. It's fake. Now, if it's not your energy, this could also be your energy. This could be you, who you're dealing with, the situation, but it could also be flip-flopped. That's another thing I didn't mention. So we have the Page of Wands. We've got several pages here. Page of Wands is somebody that goes on a new adventure. If this doesn't sound like you, this could totally be someone that you're dealing with. Okay? Possibly somebody in the past that just was emotionally disabled, somebody that doesn't know how to control or doesn't have really emotional responses or something like that, right? Their trauma levels are high, so they don't feel any compassion for a lot of people, whatever, right? So we have somebody here who's, it looks like they're going on a new adventure of personal healing, right? Now, if you're, once again, if you're not dealing with anyone and somebody is watching you, we're talking on the positive side here. If somebody's watching you, they're learning from you. Trying to figure out how to be more like you. So I'm kind of also getting that whoever's watching could possibly be a person that a lot of people look up to. Good for you, if that's the case. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a lot for people, you know. At the end here, I do see from taking this journey, this is like, you know, people go through their healing processes, and nowadays you hear about all these people going on their spiritual journeys, or that's what this looks like. And they're using someone else as a tool to learn from it. So if you've been through a healing journey, and maybe you're public, somebody might be looking into your social medias to see, okay, how did they get over this? How did they do this? How did they make it through? You know, this person's so nice. How come they're so nice? Why? They've been through so much. Why are they, you know, people are different and people heal differently. A healed person will not talk about their past traumas as if they are still a victim. Let me say that again. Most people who are healed, we're never 100% healed, right? We're always going to remember, but I'm just telling you, right? As healed as you're going to be in that situation. But I already forgot what I said. What I was going to say. Anyways, yeah, you know, somebody, you know, I lost my train of thought, totally. I totally lost it. I'm trying to get it back. But somebody might be going on a journey and trying to use you as a tool because maybe they like you. They like the way you are. They like, oh, I know what I was talking about the trauma, right? People might not think that you've been through things, but you don't live your life and talk about your past traumas as if you're a victim, right? You talk about it like it was an experience. It wasn't that great, but I made it through by doing certain things, right? So yeah, I could be talking to somebody who's went through the healing journey, and a lot of people look up to you because you went through some terrible things and you were able to pick yourself back up and move on. So once again, I'm proud of you. Good for you if that does resonate for you. Because in the end, look, 9 of Cups, right on. And you know, in this deck, the 9 of Cups is also, you know, I don't like to mix it, but once you know cartomancy, you'll never do tarot the same. So, you know, when you look at this 9 of Cups, this is a card of Virgo also. And the card of Virgo is the Hermit card, which is, you know, somebody going into solitude and going through the healing journey. Like, look, this person is alone. You might be by the beach. I also see here you might have a cat. There's a lot of cats in this deck. Okay, so you might have a cat. It's like a little calico cat. You might like to go to the beach, and you might meditate a lot. Because when you're going through that healing journey on your own, living in solitude, then, yeah, you tend to meditate a lot. Take in a lot of the fresh air and all of that. Now how long this journey will last, we don't know. Everybody's different. Me, myself, I'm on a 4-year healing journey where most of the time I was always in solitude, hiding in the mountains and stuff, going places where there was nobody around for miles. But it helped. It did help me. Some people wouldn't have the courage to do that. Like a lot of people that know what I've done in the past are like, I can't believe it. But if you're really, wanting to heal, if your willpower is strong, you will do anything you can to help yourself. Right? And that's what I did. And then that's what I became eventually. 9 of Cups. And normally people go through that healing journey also. They tend to kind of stay in that. That solitude-y. Maybe the only time you say anything to anybody is you go to the grocery store, you gotta buy something. Somebody says, hi, how are you today? And you say, fine. That's the only conversation you might have, you know what I mean? But if years have gone by, just as a suggestion, you don't have to do it. You're gonna have to intermingle with society again. You don't have to be like going part of it. No, but you're gonna have to try to be comfortable around others. And that's really hard. That is really, really hard. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're somebody that's lived in solitude in the mountains and in places where there's like no one around and you're out there by yourself, or you get used to that and then it starts feeling good, right? But then when you start getting around people, you get uncomfortable. And it's only because your mindset has changed. And because of staying in that solitude or in that healing journey for so long, and you've learned so much about yourself, not just yourself, but about humanity and others, when you start talking to people again after your journey, you're going to notice things that just don't fit. You're going to notice things when you talk to people that you never noticed before. So, but my suggestion is you got to kind of get in there. At least, hi, how are you doing today? Or how was your date going? It's a nice day. Small talk. I hate small talk. But I had to force myself to do it to try to incorporate myself back into society because, you can't be solitude person alone forever. You're going to have to talk to somebody eventually just to say hello or whatever, right? Yeah, so, if that's the case, slowly but surely you'll get back out there, And if you don't feel like getting back out there, then you're not ready or you don't have to, okay? You do whatever makes you feel better, right? Next we have the Justice card. It's in the reverse. Now that position right there is obstacle or advice. Okay. In this situation, if somebody's going through a healing journey and we have the Justice card in reverse, this means that, you're just starting. Somebody's just starting. And justice for you would be to heal, right? Justice for you would be to get better from whatever trauma you've had to go through, right? But it's in the reverse, and I know why. At first I thought, oh, bad at the end, right? Even though somebody might want to come in and talk to you, because remember those cards flew out, and they want to try to woo you and sweep you off your feet, they might be coming in like that because they see you alone, and they might think that you want someone around, or friends, or a date, or whatever. Yeah, people mix that up a lot because they're unhealed. They're not enlightened. Some people actually love to be alone. I love to be alone because I don't have to answer to no one. I do my own thing. I don't have to worry about looking a certain way to anybody. I don't worry about that anyways, as it is, but but yeah. Some people like to have that solitude. And trust me, if somebody has pets, trust me, they're busy. I got pets. So it's you know, I'm okay with not communicating with everybody, their mother, cousin. I don't know. I don't even want to know them. I'm busy. I got dogs. Dogs are a lot of work. You got to keep up their health. You got to keep them healthy. You got to feed them. You got to keep them entertained. It's busy. So, you know, if you're this person, and you know what? Let me see what's here. Oh, I see a little gecko and I see a little kitty cat. Another kitty cat. You could also be an artist. Maybe you like to paint. Maybe you're a painter. But you definitely are someone who's like, I'm out of here. I'm going. I'm doing it. And then in the end, you get the Nine of Cups for you. Now, this Justice card is in reverse because you're not gonna get healed right away. Yeah. The obstacles to get out of this victim mentality. Okay. Even though you may be a victim, everybody doesn't need to know that. And it's more beneficial that people don't know. Because they're going to automatically stereotype you and think you're a certain way and that you need this and that you need, but you don't. So it's better to not even let anybody know what you've been through until you're healed, because then you'll know how to properly discuss that. Right now, no. You know? Right now, in this point, you know, you're not ready to discuss your traumas with anyone. You're trying to go through the healing process. And you're doing okay in the end. But you're not 100% healed, right? The ultimate justice is being healed and to be able to overcome whatever has traumatized you in the past, right? Now, you're going to overcome those emotional feelings, but you're never going to forget. And you can be triggered again. But if you have absolute, complete control over your emotions, life is better. And even though this is in reverse, even if you do heal from that particular thing, because everybody's got a whole slew of traumas. It's not just one, it's a bunch. Everybody. This Justice card in reverse, you know, it may go into the upright in the future, but you may never get justice for the trauma that you went through, but at least you healed from it, and you can move forward. And, you know, I don't suggest you wear your trauma on your shoulder, though, because people will look at you a certain way. People will judge you. And then in the end, there's no happiness there, right? No happy family, no happy home. Bad things are happening, right? Now, if you're doing okay, but you're going through the healing journey, this portion of the reading we could be talking about are the ones who deceived you in the past. You may have even left them completely. You don't know what they're doing. You know anything about them. They're not receiving any justice while you're healing. And in the end, they are the ones who are actually the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Because the Ten of Cups in this deck doubles as the Wheel of Fortune. Hey, you know? So you could be getting that great fortune because you went on that journey. You healed yourself. You did whatever you could. You're doing well. But in the reverse, the people who traumatized you, trust me, what comes around goes around. They're not receiving any justice, and they're not happy where they're at. This is why, you know, I always mention this. You know, I'm sorry if it's taking long and you guys are like, I'm talking too much. But, you know, if it's not your reading, it's not your reading. You can go somewhere else. It's okay. Strictly for healing. You may not even know that people are going through this. The people who traumatized you. Maybe you don't live near them. Maybe you know, and I would just keep healing myself if I were you. Because these people are going through this because of karma. We have two karmic cards right here. People are receiving their karma from what they did to you. Right? You're just minding your own business, trying to heal, trying to do your thing. And then we got people here that are just, whoever traumatized you, they're totally in the reverse. You know? And I always tell people, you know, okay, you went through a healing process, and then I've spoken to people who are like, I just want to know why they did that to me. You know what? You don't need to know. If you're healing and you're doing well in life, leave it alone. You don't need to know why. But you know what? The reason why I'll tell you most of the time is because that person that abused you was also abused as a child and didn't know how to fix that as an adult. They never went through the healing process, so they carried that trauma into their own soul and are projecting it out onto everybody else around them. And that's why people act crazy, or, you know, because they're unhealed from something, right? So, and we know that this is karmic, so we also know that, you know, they're being watched. And if this is you and another group, I suggest you have a strong faith. You know, if you believe in God, you can trust that God is going to take care of you. You don't need to know what happened to those people either. Because I can guarantee if you're a nice, kind person and you emerged as a good, well-rounded individual, you know, maybe you have to meditate a lot. Because like I said, you're never going to be completely healed. But you're doing well, and these people are not. And, you know, God will take care of it for you. Now, if you don't believe in God or any of that stuff, then, you know, then we can call it cause and effect. Somebody caused you trauma, and the effect of that is in the future, they will receive that karma, right? However you want to look at it. What comes around goes around. Okay? All right, that's enough jibber jabber. We have the Four of Pentacles right here. At the bottom of the deck, these are all pre-shuffled. Somebody's holding on tight to something. Now, if you're going through a healing journey, obviously you're holding on tight to something. And that something could be that trauma that you want to let go of. You're going to let go of it eventually. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. I believe you can. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Wands. This is actually success or failure. This is also the Tower or avoiding the Tower. I personally think, because this is a 50-50 card, somebody's having success and they are avoiding the Tower because they're actually doing something to heal themselves. They're putting in the work. There you have it. Yeah. God wants you to put in the work. Whoever you pray to, God, Allah, Jesus, well, whoever, they want you to put in the work. They're not just going to hand you stuff. You got to put in the work. You got to show them that you're faithful. That's for the religious people. Okay? And, you know, for those of you who are not religious, all I can say about that is nothing is free. You have to work for it. If you think watching TV all day and listening to tarot all day is going to bring you prosperity, it's not going to happen. You have to make the actual conscious effort to make improvements in your life. If you don't do that, it's not going to happen. No amount of readings that you watch is going to help you with that. What do we have here? So somebody had to definitely walk away from a relationship. But that's why they were able to do this. And they're starting from the bottom, but at least they're starting somewhere. This person is not sad that they're leaving. This person is not sad that they're going on this healing journey. Because why? They made the conscious effort to decide, I need to fix myself. I need to heal. So I'm going to do it. I'm kind of feeling too, honestly, like someone's excited about it. And I'm excited for you. Yeah, I was excited about it when I started mine too. I was like, whoa, it's going to be an adventure. And it really was. It really, really was. You know, I have everything on my other channel. 4 or 5 years of content. Yeah. There's no order there, so it's so difficult to watch that stuff. But I was excited when we were getting ready to leave. It was like the launch. We're launching off, you know, like pioneers and going to, you know. And I do see that the 10 of Cups, like you're happy. You're happy. And the reason I'm also getting, the reason that you're able to do this, and you're able to do this with a quickness even, because we have the Knight of Pentacles reverse. This is the slowest moving knight in the deck, but in the reverse, it's like make a hasty move, doing it quick, or false promises, or something like that. But in this case, and you're happy, and you're not sad over the loss of this relationship. You must have been miserable where you were. I mean, that's what I'm getting here. You were miserable where you were. Yeah, it was a failed relationship. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be family, friends, whoever, right? But you're not sad over the loss of this relationship. No matter how anybody says or what anybody says to you, you're happy. And you left with a quickness. Right on. That's how I did it too. I kind of left with a quickness too. Because, you know, if you stop and you think, you're like, you might change your mind. Somebody might have that kind of energy going on too. You know what? I saw somewhere, I learned this about 3 years back. If you're doing something and you're kind of like slow on doing it because you're not sure, you beat around the bush or whatever, you need to give yourself the 5-second rule. Like, you know, you got to do something. Give yourself 5 seconds and then start, regardless. Because for me, what I used to do, it used to take me like an hour to an hour and a half just to start the camera to do the reading. Because I had a lot of nervousness, I was unsure of myself, things like that. I made it through and I did the readings, but I should have just been able to just turn on the camera and start. Now I do that. I mean, now it's very easy. But in the past, it wasn't. So that 5-second rule is, if you know you got to do something, give yourself 5 seconds, take a breath, and then just start. Just do it. You know, and I've been kind of doing that, I guess, ever since I heard that. And everything, and I haven't been procrastinating. I've been making, you know, choices. If I need to do something, I start it. I don't beat around the bush. You know? You can get there too. You can get there too. I know you can. Anybody can. It just takes work. Page of Wands. Why is that there? Page of Wands. Oh, you want wish fulfillment. Actually, this is something that you've been wanting to do. That's why it's so easy for you to leave wherever you're at. This is why it's so, yeah. You have made the conscious effort, or you're making the choice, right? Because if you haven't done it yet, you know, then you're going to make the choice. You want wish fulfillment. Okay, so you haven't done it yet. Maybe you're planning. We got the Joker in reverse. And this is also about taking a leap of faith. You haven't taken a leap of faith yet, right? Everybody's on a different timeline. You could have even went through this whole reading. By the time we come to an end, you could be like, oh yeah, I already went through all that. And that's usually the case a lot of times. But on the deck, we do have the Two of Pentacles, right? This is also the High Priestess. You have decided, and didn't we see the High Priest? I saw the High Priestess when I was shuffling. I knew I was dealing with a High Priestess. And if you're not there yet, you will be. This is your, you know, I don't like to, you know, predict future things, because this is just a story. But in my mind, there is somebody who does end up being High Priestess energy upright. Unfortunately, it's because, you know, you've been through a lot of things, and I'm sorry, and I have been too. We all have. But, you know, I'm happy that you're going through the process of healing and fixing yourself and trying to be a better person, trying to bring happiness and joy into your life. That's what it's all about. And I'm very proud of you. You know, but we have somebody out there also, Two of Pentacles reverse, who is unsure. And I understand that that could be 50-50 of the people, because not everybody is just going to pick up and just go out and be in solitude. Like, that takes a lot of mental strength. But you can do it. You know, don't do it alone, though. I'm going to tell you, if you are planning something, like, don't do it alone. Get yourself a little puppy. Get yourself a little doggy. Go adopt a dog to bring along with you. That will be your companion. That's how I did it. It worked well for me. And if you are traveling, it's safe for you. It's a safe alternative, right? So you're not actually alone. You have your trusty companion and your guard. You know, that's your guard dog, you know. But like, or cat. Some people like travel with cat, travel around. So a lot of people like cats. They got cats in their trailers or something like that. But somebody knows this is what they have to do. The problem is they're kind of still iffy. And if you're traumatized and you want to go on that healing journey, yeah, you're going to still have some traumas that are going to cloud your judgment. And that's why we have this here. But if you stay positive and your faith is strong and your willpower is strong, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, I'm like 5'3". I'm a little woman. And I went out there by myself. Sometimes I was in the middle of the desert and I couldn't see anything from miles around me. Just me and my dogs in the trailer. And I remember with social media, people, oh, be careful. I mean, there's no one around me, number one. And number two, I'm already on a journey and I'm taking that risk because I want to heal. Yeah, I was like that. I'm still like that. I take the risk. I take risks all the time. That's my life, taking risks. As long as I'm doing good things, not hurting anybody, risks are okay. Okay? Right? 9 of Cups. Tell me about that one. There's that King of Pentacles. Didn't we see him earlier? I can't even remember. Was he even a King of Pentacles? We are dealing with some... Well, we have 9 of Cups here. Single abundant can take care of yourself. This could be your energy, King of Pentacles energy. And that's somebody, you know, you could be a business owner. You could be turning this healing journey into your business or something like that. You're doing well financially, though, in the end. And it's because there's a third party situation or a celebration here. Now, if you're by yourself, there's no third parties involved here. If you're by yourself, you are being celebrated for your success. Oh, no, this is different. So somebody, this is what we got with these cards, right? You are doing well. Let's get that straight. 4 of Cups in the reverse, making an offer or refusing an offer or not offering at all. But there could be a third party person here who sees you, male or female, doesn't matter, as a King of Pentacles. Now, females can be King of Pentacles too because females own their own businesses. Females take care of their jobs. Females follow the rules of laws. They don't make crime. They do everything on the straight and narrow. So that would be a King of Pentacles female, right? This person could be dealing with a third party, or there is a third party out there who is lying about you. Yeah, and that's probably these people. You know what I'm saying? There is somebody out there who is a straight up liar, a third party person, talking smack on you. And the main reason why they're doing that is because if you're on your journey and you're not contacting anybody, you're like ghost, you're like nowhere, no one can find you. That's why they're doing it, because you can't defend yourself. So they will do it behind your back. They will never say it to your face. That shows weakness. People who talk about other people behind their back and they can't say it to their face or publicly say it without, you know, being scared. Yeah. This is what's going on right here. Somebody's talking smack behind your back while you're on your healing journey, doing good for yourself and, you know, doing great. And then we have this Justice card reverse. Those people, they're not going to get no justice. Because that's how it usually happens. You know, people go through traumas in their life. They're all messed up, homeless, doing bad things, whatever. And then all of a sudden they disappear. Whoa, where'd that person go? And then they're kind of forgotten about a little bit. Right? Like, oh. And then years later they pop up and like, whoa, the business owner, new house, new car, you know, happy. Like, whoa, how did that happen? It's because someone went on a healing journey. Something that you should have done if you haven't. And then all that smack that this person talked about you while you were away and unable to defend yourself, they look stupid now because people are like, wait a minute, didn't you say that that person was this, that, and the other? Look at what they're doing over here. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Success. Or the Tower, right? It's one or the other. So somebody is either going to receive some swift messages coming in or they're not. right? Or somebody's trying to create swift movement to create stability. Somebody's trying to create stability for themselves. These people, they're waiting for their ships to come in. It's never going to come in for them. Because of the way they treated you and what they did in the past, they think that they have a clear path, but no, they don't. And that's part of their karma. They're going to sit and wait. They're waiting for their reward. They're going to be waiting for a long time. And while they're waiting, they're going to miss opportunities. And then they're not going to find happiness in the end. Because anybody who tries to go against anybody else out of sheer ego, jealousy, whatever, or just because they don't like them, oh, it's going to come back. Yeah. I don't like a lot of people either, but you know what? I hope that everybody thrives and progresses and does well. Seriously. I don't want anybody hurt. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to get bad karma, but that's not my choice. Right? It's not my choice. So, well, the Six of Wands here. This is a Tower card. Somebody's going to receive the Tower. That's what I believe. They're not going to get that success. They're going to have the Tower moment. They're going to realize, like, shoot, I screwed myself. That's what somebody's going to think. I'm, you know, this hasn't really happened, but it could. Three of Pentacles. Collaborating with others. So it's not just one person against you. It was a lot of people. Trying to talk smack about you. You can't defend yourself. You're away. You're off healing. But you're progressing in your life and doing well. So it really doesn't matter what these people say as long as you're rising to the occasion. Because in the end, people are going to see who the real liar was. This person could have said anything, talk smack, saying all kind of terrible things about you. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm doing well. House, new car, happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And in the end, we got the Ten of Cups reversed. That's what their fate is. That's what their fate is. Because we already know your fate is Ten of Cups because you are in that energy already. Even though you're traumatized or you're upset, you're still in a high vibrating energy. And that's what people need when they're starting a healing journey. You know, excitement. You know, you need to be excited about the healing journey. You know it's going to be hard, but you know it's going to be exciting because you're going to learn and do a lot of new things. So, these people, they're having nightmares. They can't sleep. They're overthinking. They're like, what did I do? Yeah, you opened your mouth and you ran your mouth. That's what happened. While this person over here is like, I ain't got no problems. I'm sleep fine. I'm not worried. Maybe in the past you did, but you're not anymore. Ten of Cups reversed. Yeah, because they were trying to get away with something. Seven of Swords, trying to get away with something. They're trying to get away with slandering, talking smack about you, but they, you know, they may have, though, for a while. Because if you're not around to defend yourself, then of course, you know, they're getting away with it. Four of Wands, soulmate energy. They could have been telling your family, your friends, whoever. Or, you know, yeah, no, yeah. That's what I see. The people you love, people you care about, could also be the ones who are doing this. Your family. That's so common nowadays. Toxic families everywhere. Everywhere. It's better just trying to pick yourself up and get away from those people. I had to leave an entire state to get away from those people. From abuse and trauma. Yeah. But I was like, this person, I'm not sad, and I'm a happy person, and I'm out of here. That's what it looks like somebody's doing. So good for you. You know, 5-second rule, just do it. Like the Nike symbol, just do it. You know, stop talking about it. Go do it. You know? Let's get some little letters. Or you know what? No. Let me see what kind of animal I could get. Okay, got the book here. You know what? Look, you know, I'm going to grab a little bowl here. I want to dump this in. And I want to grab out that way. Because I kind of feel like if I pour it into my hands, it's kind of like, I don't know. Here's this little blue bowl. This was in the house when I moved in. Let's dump them all out. So we have a good amount of charms here. These are charms that I have collected in the past 4 years on my travel. Some things I found on the floor and some things I purchased. So I'm going to look away. I don't know if you can tell I'm looking away, but I am. That's good. Okay, that's good. And the book. All right, so what do we have here? We have an owl. We have a butterfly. We have a snake and a starfish. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can. We have a snake, butterfly, owl, starfish. Okay. Look at what it says in the back. Love one another. So let's get some more definition on that. What do we have? That's a cobra. Wisdom, transformation, sexual energy, passion, danger, and death. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want to scare anybody. Going out and traveling alone like I did is dangerous. Okay? I found myself in dangerous situations all the time. But you have to be strong. You got to stand up for yourself. And you got to be not afraid. These people are dangerous. You know? People talk smack about other people. You know, I don't talk about like black magic stuff or anything like that a lot. But if we were going to talk about reality and logical stuff, talking smack, slandering, projecting projecting hate or anger towards another person, that's actually black magic. That could be considered black magic. That cauldron stuff and all that. I'm talking about real life stuff here. That could be considered black magic. Okay? Somebody obviously did that to you. But I kind of feel like they're the ones who are in danger in their future. Even though traveling alone is very dangerous. I've been in dangerous situations, okay? But I made it through, you know. But I've also have past experience, you know, I was in the military and I was able to protect myself, you know. And that's with no weapons. I don't, no. I'm not a weapon person. I don't have guns. I don't do that. So somebody here, I feel, is this cobra energy, right? Because obviously, if you're out in solitude on your own, you're not doing anything sexual. So there's no sexual, right? Right. All right. Let's see what that owl is. Owl is wisdom. I already know what the owl is, but I have more stuff here, so I want to see what it says. Wisdom, intuition, protection, transformation, good luck, death, and afterlife. Yes, that's you. Because you're going on that journey. You know what I'm saying? You're going on that journey. You have divine protection, though. I feel like I had divine protection the whole time because I made it out of all these dangerous situations like scot-free. You know? Like, yes. Okay? Intuition, that will come in time. You probably have a little bit of intuition because you were smart enough to take the chance or to pick up and leave. So, and that was your intuition telling you, let's get out of here. So you do follow your intuition. You will be protected. And you'll definitely go through transformation. And that death and afterlife thing is, you will possibly go through some sort of trippy stuff when you're out there by yourself in the silence, in nature, like in the middle of nowhere. You're going to experience some odd things. Don't be afraid. Just let it happen. Right? You're going to also experience body issues. You're gonna feel things like, yeah, you guys, I don't know how to explain it, but you're going to feel things, okay? And it's going to be surprising and shocking. But it won't be as surprising and shocking to you as it would for somebody who's unhealed. And then they might turn around and look at you like, whoa, I can't believe you're doing this. You're just Well, you were guided and you're following your intuition, and that's, you know, that's what happened. What do we have? The butterfly. This is so pretty. I think I got this in Arizona in a little shop where they have a bunch of little trinkets in there. I like to go looking at these little shops in different states. So where is it? I don't see it. Oh, yeah, it is. Well, we all know that the butterfly is like new beginnings, number one, right? We have the caterpillar, comes a cocoon, and it emerges a butterfly, new person. This is also you. And you come out to love people. Even though you've been traumatized and hurt by people, you're not going to let that control you. You're not going to let that change the person